Yay! It's finally here. I have my February 2022 Ginger Quilter box. This is a monthly sewing subscription box that is curated by Natalie Pratt, and it focuses on giving you a quilting project to do once every month, plus a few little extras. She makes sure to include everything you need to make at least the top of the project, though in cases where the projects are a little bit smaller, she has been known to throw in the backing, the binding, and even the batting. So all you have to do is sit down at your sewing machine and put the project together. In fact, last month when we got our Valentine's table topper, I actually sat down at my machine and did a live stream of that project, and you can check out the replay up here. All right, let's dive into February's box and see what we have. Tape is cut. I always have a hard time opening this box backwards. But I did it. There it is. This is the inside. I haven't even peeked yet. Moving the tissue out of the way, we have our pamphlet. Ooh, I already see some stuff right on top, and I'm really excited to dive in. Right on top, we have our little brochure, and this is just a little letter from Natalie to us to help us understand why she's picked the things that are in this month's box. I do want to tell you that I have a coupon code, which I am covering with my thumb, for 20% off of all patterns from Thimble Blossoms. So that's not going to be in the pamphlet. That's just a little extra. I love Thimble Blossoms patterns, so I might actually use that. We have a package of sewing bandages. I actually have a ton of these because I've gotten a couple of them in sew sampler boxes in the past, and fortunately I haven't had to use all of them, but Band-Aids are always a good thing to keep in your sewing studio. Natalie writes, "You'd think after sewing for so long we would all stop poking our fingers with our needles, but since we're all still mortal, you'll be glad to have these little bandages in your sewing room just in case." And they're really cute because they're all sewing themed. I know from past boxes that there were going to be 4 sewing themed designs on the Band-Aids, and that's what we have here. Fun. I'm glad to have the new designs. We have a sweet treat. It is some Gummy peach rings. These are a fat-free, gluten-free, low-sodium candy. I gotta say, I've seen these before, but I've never really tried them, so maybe we will break that streak this month. She writes in the pamphlet that there are not too many sewing-themed candies on the market these days. I looked hard. So we're just going to pretend these are little bobbins, and as a bonus, they're peach-colored, which matches the fabric. That's awesome. Before we get into the pattern and the fabric, we have a special notion here that I'm a little excited about. Take a look. This is a tabletop vacuum, and she says that this goes out to all the Minky lovers out there. You can get that pesky fluff and stray thread off of your table so that you can move on with your sewing. Oh my goodness, this has even got her logo right on top of it. This is so cool! Ah! Okay, so look, there's her logo up here. I don't know how to work it, but there are some switches on here. There's a little cleaner to clean it, but there is a little thing of instructions. Let me just read through the instructions and see what I've got. I took a look at the instructions to figure out how to use this, and I think it's pretty straightforward. The idea is that you have this brush down here, and you can kind of go like this to clean up your table or whatever it is you're vacuuming. These are the brushes. This is the little sucker thing, and you can pull this apart to do some cleaning on the inside, but in order to make this work, you're going to need some batteries. This is your on-off switch right here, and there's a little button right above it that if you push it, the top should kind of be able to pull away. You're going to need 2 AA batteries to put in there so that you can use this. Let's see if I have some AA batteries. All right, so the batteries are installed. Let's see how well this thing works. Let's sprinkle some thread and see what happens. My thread's kind of right here. Ooh, it picked it up. The brushes are picking stuff up off of the mat really nicely, but it didn't go up the sucker thingy. Now it did, because I put it there. Now I want to pull it apart, see what it's like to clean. Okay, so you can kind of see a little bit of that gunk went inside. It actually did pick up more than I thought it would. That's kind of cool. So now I could just take my little brush to kind of clean all this stuff out. Oh, that cleans really good. Okay, it clings to it just like your lint would in your bobbin case on your machine. So I could clean all this gunk out and throw it away. I could probably also do something like this over the trash can. Oh yeah, where it all empties out too. So very cool. This is a very practical notion. And I gotta say, I honestly have never gotten something like this in any other box. And this feels like it's an expensive notion. I love it. This is great. And I showed you already, but I'm really kind of stoked that her little logo's on that. I know that wasn't a cheap thing to do. So very nicely done, Natalie. By the way, the whole thing about Minky couldn't have been any more timely because I quilted my very first quilt with Minky and I absolutely loved it, and I have vowed to make more quilts with Minky backing, and this is definitely going to help with that. Pattern and fabric for our project. I'm excited about both of these. I cannot wait to show you what we have. Our pattern this month is from Thimble Blossoms, and it is the mini spools quilt. I've definitely seen the larger one of this, so I'm really excited to have something a little bit more bite-sized. Take a look. The pattern will feature 9 spool blocks like this, and Natalie writes that I am a sucker for a thread spool quilt block, and yet I've actually never sewn one until this month. I love that we get to spotlight the thing us quilters love best. I am going to do this on a live stream, and I will put all the information for when this will be sewn up in the first comment down below this video so that you can grab your box or buy this pattern and grab your own fabric and meet me over on YouTube and sew this together live with me. Spoiler alert, if you're going to sew this, you need to starch and cut all of your fabric, have it labeled, and then meet me ready to sit at the machine and start your sewing. The fabric that she has curated for that pattern, I am in love with. Let me show you. Our fabric is So Wonderful by Paper and Cloth, and she said that this line of fabric was an automatic yes for me. It captures every type of sewing notion, even the needle threader. So you get to make a mini quilt in the shape of sewing supplies using your sewing supplies with fabric that is covered in sewing supplies. That is some next level stuff right there. So those are all the prints that she had. Plus we have our background and then these 2 extra prints plus binding. So I'm guessing what she's done is given us our spool centers, our spool ends, our background fabric, our backing fabric, and our binding fabric. Pretty generous. The only thing missing from this is your batting, and goodness knows, with all the quilts that have been coming off my long arm lately, I have enough scrap batting to make this project. I am so excited to put this quilt together that I almost can't wait for the live stream. I've always wanted to do a spool block. I never have. They look really easy to do, and I am excited to put one together. Make sure to grab your box, or if you're not already subscribed to this project box, grab the pattern and some fabric from your stash and meet me on YouTube in the live that's linked down below for a live stream sew-along of this project. I'll see y'all there. Bye! And Natalie writes that she is a sucker for a spread spool.